Hello everyone. In this video we will talk about pedigree analysis. This is very important because as per the recent CBSE circular they have introduced competency based questions, and in competency based questions this topic is very important because they can give you any pedigree chart for interpreting. So pedigree analysis is a very important tool of genetics because if anyone has affected member in the family that is affected by genetic disorder, then we can find out the probability of the affected individual in the upcoming generation. Before we start with the main details of the pedigree, let's understand the basics. How a pedigree chart is drawn, how to interpret it, this is important. Remember, in the pedigree analysis, generally we make pedigree charts. Now, for making the pedigree charts, there are few rules which we need to follow. Like, a circle is always drawn for the female, whereas for males, always squares are drawn, and these squares are used for showing males. Circles are used for females, squares are used for males, and if they are going to marry each other, then they will be shown by a horizontal line. So if mating or marriage happens between a female and a male, then it will be shown by a circle and a square with a horizontal line in between. Whosoever has got affected by a genetic trait, then that individual will be darkened. Means here I have colored the circle. That means the affected individual's sex is female. Similarly, if the male partner or the male individual is affected, then we will be using a colored square for it. So affected males, they will always be shown by a colorful square, and affected females, they will always be shown by a colorful circle. Now suppose if we want to show the generation, we will first make a circle and then a square, and we will join them with a horizontal line. This will mark our generation number 1. If they have married each other and they had 2 children, the first one was a girl and the second one was a boy, then this depicts their second generation. And if we want to number the individuals, then this will be generation 1 number 1, this will be generation 1 number 2, second generation number 1, this individual, and then second generation number 2 individual. So suppose if I ask you who is the second individual of the first generation, that means I am talking about this. If I ask you who is the first individual of the second generation, that means I am talking about this. So you must know how to trace an individual because they may give you a question, generation 1, this individual. So you must know how to trace it. Beside this, sometimes what is done, they may give you the dark square or a dark box with 5 written in it. Means the affected individuals, they are 5 in number. Sometimes they may give you a dark square or a dark circle and they may cut it. Cut means the individual is dead. That means he or she is no more. Another thing which is very important is consanguineous marriage. What are these? The marriage between close cousins is known as consanguineous marriage, and they are very important from genetic point of view because if any disease is genetically there in that family and consanguineous marriage is happening, then the probability of that disease is going to get increased. Suppose these are the parents and they had a daughter, elder one, and then they had a boy, right? Over a period of time they got married. So girl will marry a boy and boy will marry a girl, and they had one girl, and the other family, means the brother family of this girl, they had a boy. Now if the marriage happens between this girl and boy, however they are the cousins, then this marriage is known as consanguineous marriage, because the marriage between the close cousins are happening. See here, this lady, just to show you, I have colored it with purple. This lady and this boy, they are brother sister to each other, so their children will be cousins. Here the marriage between the cousins has happened, and this is known as consanguineous marriage. These type of marriages are very important for the genetic counselors when they are detecting for any genetic traits. Now we will study the genetic disorders. Genetic disorders could be autosomal if they are regulated by autosomes, and you know that human beings, they have 22 pairs of autosomes. However, it could be X-linked disorder also if they are carried by the X chromosomes. Now autosomal disorders, they could be in the recessive condition or they could be in the dominant condition. Similarly, X-linked disorders could either be dominant or they could be recessive. Now in this chapter, we have to emphasize upon the autosomal recessive disorders and X-linked recessive disorders. The other disorders you will study in your senior classes, but herein we will be talking about these disorders and we will be using P-degree to analyze them, right? So you need to learn names of few disorders which are autosomal recessive. The first autosomal recessive disorder is sickle cell anemia. We will be talking about this order in detail in a separate video. The another type of autosomal recessive disorder which I have already explained in pleiotropy is phenylketonuria. The third type of disorder which is being given in NCERT is cystic fibrosis. The names of diseases are to be learned because in the board they may ask you give examples of any two autosomal recessive diseases. The X-linked recessive diseases are hemophilia and color blindness. We will be talking at length for sickle cell anemia and hemophilia. So stay tuned in the next video. Hope this was helpful.